Ladies and gentlemen, hello, good evening, and welcome. This evening we are bringing you a fascinating match. We have ZMG Legends starting us off on the blue side and Dorado Gaming on the red for control of the Void Division in APL. ZMG currently sitting pretty at the top of the rankings. Dorado Gaming just one game behind, or one match behind rather, could have the chance to take back control in this division and rejoin the playoffs. I am your host, Aulzeren0r. I am being joined by my co-caster, PrettyFig. Welcome to the table.
Hello, it definitely will be an interesting week. Today, I believe, is Reality's birthday, so he will not be playing today, which means that ZMG will go under another slight roster change.
Yeah, right after the Shield Report guys mentioned that we are finally out of roster changeville, we have another. This one was planned, which is a slight improvement over the previous unplanned roster changes. Is worth noting as well that parts of these teams did see each other yesterday in CCS Platts Wednesday League. Dorado Gaming faced off against TDR Crustacean Nation, who does lay claim to Tea Garden in CCS. So these players are familiar with each other and have had this matchup recently. First picks and bans have come through. Anything surprising on the ban list so far?
It's pretty standard and kind of what I was expecting, especially the Darius Azir fan, and then I believe the Bailey or B squared has a lot of Pike in his matches tree.
For those who are unaware, Bailey is the substitute this evening for ZMG. Papa Skips is being moved into the jungle, and B Squared is taking over the support role. It seems like they have a nice conveyor belt there. Supports moving into jungle and a new support coming in. Are you at all surprised that we got the Seraphine ban so early with the nerfs that she had in patch 12.14?
I was surprised by what I am seeing. I know the with the nerfs and buffs of certain champions, but I feel like a lot of the times that at least in comp, things such as like Victor honestly isn't even that big in solo queue, but within comp, it's a little bit different. And so sometimes either comfort or like good comp picks still get picked. I speaking of Victor, they just picked Victor.
Mm-hmm. We did see that Swain hover. Swain has, of course, been a favorite of Azir when his Azir is off the table, but has not been a champion that he's had a good run on so far in APL. So probably for the better that he's stepped away from that and chose the Victor instead. J4 did get some light buffs in 12.14, so he is back in the jungle and being picked up by Skips. The Yone coming in for Dorado, though, to round out their first half of pick ban. I suppose it's likely we'll be seeing that in the mid lane facing off against Azir.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably it. Well, Yone can be play top, so most likely mid. However, you never know. Sometimes people play weird things, especially yesterday where we had Tarek Jungle.
Oh, ZMG Frost caught a lot of flame in CCS post game for that. But props to them. They tried something new and very nearly made it work out. Big focus on top lane bans here in round 2. Gangplank was pretty heavily nerfed in the early game, but still a bit prio here for DOG to take off the table. Aatrox,
Um,
Gragas, and Mordekaiser are all pretty strong brawlers as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Camille top or a Wukong.
DOG is currently missing one solo laner and a support at the moment. Which do you think they're going to be picking here for R4?
Most likely support unless they have a big like want. Well, I guess Tom
Well,
Kench can honestly be flexed both in the top lane and in support.
yeah, it makes it a little bit hard for us to take a guess at where this team comp's going at the moment. ZMG needs support and top lane. As you predicted, here comes the Camille. Will be locked in.
And then it's Silver Lane, so I really don't know what they're gonna pick, to be honest.
They have a lot of dive potential at the moment. You almost wonder if they need a Peel champ to keep the Sivir and Victor safe in these team fights.
Oh, there's the Renata. I was expecting Renata, but I didn't want to say it and then it not happen. Which I honestly kind of like into Dorado, which is apparently called themselves dog question mark.
Yes, that is their official acronym.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure, you know. Uh
We don't question it.
cuz okay, well, I mean, to be honest though, like yeah, cuz like when either Yon, Lilia, Misfortune, well, like really any of them want to go in, you just Ronaldo ult. And
Mm-hmm.
then you're like, seems to be is that did they officially pick that All-Star or is
That
it bug?
Alistar has been locked in. Alistar was given a slight buff in this patch. His headbutt cooldown was, or his pulverize cooldown rather, was lowered by 1 second at all ranks. But
Oh.
that's a bit of a minor buff, and Alistar has been struggling recently, so I'm surprised that that's being picked up here.
Not seen like an Alistar Misfortune lane in like a long time. I feel like people tend to go with like Ash or Leona or a Mumu tend to be I feel like the bigger ones that people usually pair off with Misfortune. But I mean like Alistar can work. It's just maybe not as long of a lockdown as you might want with a Misfortune ult.
Right. The one thing that it does add to Dorado is it adds some nice peel for the Misfortune. She will be fairly alone in the back line since the rest of DOG wants to go in hard, so it will give her something to keep her safe from the Camille or the J4. Well, as we're looking at these teams, how are you expecting the early game to shake out? What can we expect to see from these two junglers and from the lane assignments?
I think almost on the ZMG side, they focus top early, get the Camille ahead. So when they start doing the kind of 1-4 split later on, Camille's able to not be stopped by a Tom Kench or a Yon or whoever dog will send for her. And then once you get Camille ahead, I think then you focus on either mid or bot, depending on game state. But I feel like they're not as important to get ahead early, mainly because of how uh, safe, I guess, and kind of scaly their lanes are.
On the other side of the coin, though, for Stunna on DOG, you don't expect him necessarily to put as much pressure up in the top lane. The Tom Kench is going to be pretty safe. So will he be putting this Lilia to work in the mid lane or more likely in the bot lane to get the Misfortune ahead?
I think for dog, they want to either get Misfortune or Yon ahead, since I think Yon will be the split, like the answer to the Camille split push later on.
Well, time will tell. We will have to see what these junglers choose to do. Of course, for ZMG, it will also be interesting to see how well Papa Skips adjusts to his new role in the jungle versus his normal role and his rostered role as the support. With that being said, though, we will step aside for just a couple of minutes here to let these teams load up onto the Rift and to put some time behind them on the stream in order to avoid any competitive issues. When we come back, these two teams loading onto the Rift. Will ZMG Legends maintain control of the Void Division, or will DOG throw some wrenches into the top half of this league? Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on to the Rift. Both teams have gotten their champs locked and loaded, and we are heading out onto the field of battle. Let's take a look at summoner spells and keystones for both teams. The one thing I pointed out in Champ Select was that Captain Donut on the Camille chose to go Grasp of the Undying as opposed to PTA or Conqueror. Now you feel that that's a pretty fair choice here from Donut.
Yeah, I feel like you should be able to proc it and get that health early. Um, I think it's important to note also that the Lilia win Dark Harvest, which makes sense because I just kind of noticed that she's the only AP threat on the side of Dorado.
What, you don't think we're going to see an AP Misfortune bringing out those Make It Rains constantly?
I don't think so, but she did also go Comet, so theoretically does have that as an option. And Misfortune did start the tier.
Let's see, any other surprises from starting items? We do see that Alistair took Hextech Dematerializer. Not entirely
Um,
surprising, but a choice nonetheless.
I guess another interesting is the Tom Kench went with the Doran Shield, while Camille went with the Doran's Blade, which I mean is kind of to be expected, but just something to note. They're
Teagarden,
not going to go AP Misfortune, right?
I would assume not. It feels like it would be pretty troll, but if the Lilia gets behind, it is going to make the job easier for Skips should he choose to go defensive here on the J4. B squared playing very far up here and keeping Alistair and MF off the wave to let Teagarden get the level 2 first.
To be honest, I feel like Renata is a pretty good pick into analyst, or you just like even when he goes in later on, you just kind of cue him and are like, and now you're knocked to the side.
That does require some quality play out of B squared though, so it will be dependent on him to keep his ADC alive once Hoshiumi hits level 2. Veneris
I feel
going
like
in hard on Azir here, gets a couple hundred health out, basically
I
for
think
free.
the scariest person on Dorado right now is that Yon. If Yon gets ahead, I think Legends will have a hard time.
And Yone getting ahead may well be a foregone conclusion. Victor does not have the strongest early game, needs those stacks in order to get his abilities upgraded to their full potential. However, look at this 4-man collapse here by ZMG Legends. Camille has already joined the fight. The hookshot lands. Veneris pops that E, so he's going to be brought back into the entire team. First Blood going over to Azir. And you needed to put the Yone behind. That is one way to do it, sending your entire team into the mid lane at 3.5 minutes.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, that was a surprise. It worked out, but
I've seen people send like their supports and jungle maybe, but I haven't seen a 3 minute top lane roam.
does put the Camille a little bit behind. Is down about 10 CS at the moment, although she will have a wave to catch here of about 8 minions, so we'll get some of that back.
And I don't know what it is, but is there like a buff or something with the call? Because I feel like we've been seeing it more often than normal.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of calls in the past few games here at ZMG, both from ZMG's teams and from opponents' teams. However, I understand it here. Camille is not going to win the early game hard here, so it looks more like Donut is happy to let the early game go and just farm up until he gets the Sheen and a couple other items so that he can really put the hurt onto Zol here. Veneris tries to go in, chases Azir way off this wave, but doesn't do a whole lot of damage. J4 will get spotted out here, so Cosmos and Hoshiumi know to play passive. Looks like J4 has realized he's been spotted out and will just go ahead and recall.
It will be interesting to see if if either team goes for an early Drake or not. Miss Fortune's getting kind of low on mana right now.
Miss Fortune is very low on mana, down to about 200. Okay. Well, 200 means she's still got a couple of Make It Rains in her pocket, or really as many double ups as she pleases. This Yone is in very deep,
A
though.
hit.
Has to be careful. Donut with the hookshot does get out, but Veneris will not be so lucky. Has accepted his fate. Kill's going to be gifted over to Tea Garden this time.
Why was Yon there?
Yone was getting some very deep vision, and as we can see, he did get that ward into the chicken bush, but it was very quickly pinged out by ZMG, and with the roam timer that the bot lane had, they were able to collapse there pretty freely. And it looks like J4 is going to start up this Drake, so the pick onto the Yone turns into a Drake at the cost of Wolves and Gromp, it looks like, is what Stun is going to steal on the top side.
Which I mean, bot side should have priority here, especially since Miss Fortune just left. It looks like Alistar is moving towards mid. Maybe try to do a counter gank.
Donut does need to be careful here. Stunna is on the way. Alistair will be moving towards the dragon. Veneris goes in on Azir, gets a couple hundred damage down, but not enough. Alistair will find Papa Skips and B squared here on a couple of points of vision, so they will know that this is coming. Oshiumi just dancing away there, trying to keep Veneris safe. No more deaths for this Yone if they can avoid it. Azir has hit level 6,
Alistar's
though.
kind of wasting some time, I feel.
I don't think it's that bad to let the Misfortune get solo XP for a bit.
Looks like they're trying to do the reverse onto Azir here.
Do have 3 members here. The ultimate from Veneris comes out. Azir down to about half health. Does have the Chaos Storm available. Veneris is going to take another turret shot here. Pulled all the way back to his own turret, though. And Azir survives on a sliver. Down to about 250 health. Renata is available should they decide to dive once again. Skips is here as well, so Hoshiumi has to be careful. Hoshiumi going in here, didn't know that Papa Skips was there, will use the Pulverize to try and get out. Papa Skips will hit the flag and drag. The flash from Hoshiumi was not enough distance. Papa Skips gets the kill onto Hoshiumi. A third kill now. 2 from over-aggression into this bot side jungle.
I don't know what it is, but like...
They love those wards, man. I don't understand it.
They're just like, let me get some deep vision and then just dive. And like one time, okay, maybe I didn't know. 2 times,
Camille will get
okay.
devoured here, going all the way under the turret. We'll take a turret shot, and now Veneris is getting dived on. Veneris will be ignited and will fall to the ignite. The kill does go over to B squared, unfortunately for ZMG, but that's still an 0-3 Yone at 8 minutes.
Well, I did say the one scary person on Dorado is that Yone, and it looks like
ZMG heard you loud and clear, my friend.
And have a plan on how to deal with it.
Yeah, the plan is the entire team is going to camp mid for the first 15 minutes of the game, and then the Yone becomes a true int brother. B squared has to be a little bit careful here. Does use that Q to avoid the headbutt pulverize. Hoshiumi is only level 5. T-Garden and B squared are both level 6 here. Hoshiumi going in onto B squared. The stun comes up. The ultimate from Renata will come out. Hoshiumi running out of health very quickly here, but B squared is low as well. T-Garden will pop the ult and will do a bit more damage, but it's not quite enough. T-Garden and B squared are so low, and now the Yone is roaming down. Does get pinged out, but T-Garden and B squared are not backing off yet. T-Garden going back in. Now Veneris is seen on a ward. Will he be able to get in? No. With T-Garden and B squared showing that he has been seen, he will choose to back off here.
But he will be kind of careful going back mid. Okay, J4 is backing. Never mind. He's fine.
J4 does back off, but Veneris still taking a fair bit of poke there. About a quarter of his health from the EQ combo of the Victor. Donut is starting to do a bit of damage here, despite the fact that Stunna has been up top for a fair portion of this game.
I do believe, I could be wrong, I do believe Camille loses to Tom Kench early, but once Camille scales up a bit, she just chunks him.
Yes, that's correct. Once she gets a couple levels in her queue, and once she gets full build with that 700 gold sheen, she starts to become very problematic for the TK. Veneris
I mean,
continuing to struggle in this mid lane at this point, not having a good day.
I would be kind of salty if I got ganked by 4 or 5 people 2 times in a row.
Looks like we're getting some contestment here in the river over second Dragon Vision, which will be coming up in about 40 seconds here. Hoshiumi finds the pick onto Teagarden, but is still level 5. Teagarden, using that spell shield, will get away from the stun here of the Alistar, with J4 in their pack pocket and Renata rejoining the lane. Looks like they will avoid any further confrontation, but Stunna is still here. Stunna, sitting in that river bush, will be able to join fights should they occur. And look how far up Teagarden is at this point. They get caught out by Stunna. The ultimate coming out will get spell shielded, but it's not enough. Teagarden gets picked off by 80 Cosmos, and now B Squared is in trouble. B Squared has his team on the way. Will it be enough? Yes, Papa Skips going in, lands the Cataclysm, but a flash out by Stunna. B Squared forced to flash away from that W. Will be enough to survive. Now Stunna over the wall. The flash by Papa Skips. Will it be enough? About 100 health remaining. Stunna is running so fast for her life, but the last Q will secure the kill. And a 1-for-1 in the bot lane fight that included 7 members of this game. Just the Sivir and Lilia falling.
Oh, I just realized the J4 is slightly behind on the CS compared to Lilia, but I honestly think he's been making more of an impact in his lanes by ganking.
Oh, absolutely. The only lane that Lilia had impacted prior to that gank there was top lane, where she had been sitting for a prolonged period of time, keeping this Camille from doing anything scary. But that 15 CS deficit doesn't mean a whole lot when you're up 2 kills and an assist. I mean, don't Papa Skips is still up about 500 gold.
I can't believe that Renata was able to live there. He
Some
definitely
fancy
looked a little
footwork by B
doomed.
Squared for sure.
He definitely looked a little doomed, but I think with the blast cone, he was able to just barely stay alive.
The Blast Cone, and we cannot minimize the support from Papa Skips and Azir. Little bit too scary for Stunna to continue chasing as freely into. And look at this top lane now. Captain Donut has complete control, not taking any damage in these trades, whereas Zol is losing his health bar rapidly. Stunna is moving in, so Donut does have to be a little bit careful here. Doesn't have any vision, but has that hookshot available. Looks like instead this Lilia is going to roam towards the mid lane. This second Drake is being taken, by the way. Papa Skips and B Squared are taking care of it, while Teagarden and Azir manage zoning the rest of Dorado. Zol going in onto Donut. Donut with the long range hookshot will buy some time here, playing Ring Around the Rosie with the top laner in jungle. Yone is going in. I'm not sure what Yone is doing at this point, but he's very deep. Will
Getting
get
caught
found
out
out by
by
Skips here. Damage coming down from Skips. Azir is on the way. The knockup onto Veneris. The E coming out from this Yone. The ultimate coming out as well. Veneris is putting out a lot of damage onto Skips. Will it be enough? No, not quite. And both of those DOG members do fall. Skips limping away, but managed to secure 2 kills for his team.
I feel like you get those deep. You're able to get those deep words when you're ahead, and not when you're behind with 3 deaths because you overextended.
I
And it
suppose
looked
he
like
thought he was safe because he did have the Lily. The flash forward from Hoshiumi, the headbutt pulverized onto Teagarden will be enough. The stun does connect, but the teleport is coming in from the Victor. Now Hoshiumi's in trouble. Hoshiumi will be the sacrifice here. Will he be able to take out Teagarden before he dies? No, the kill is gifted over to B Squared of all people. Now 2-0-4 on the Renata. Not quite sure why that kill's going into her pocket, though. And Teagarden has to back out here with the Arcane Comet. 80 Cosmos can still get this kill if Teagarden's not careful.
But Sever W keeps his ability to clear a wave to back.
The power of infinite wave clear. It's amazing what it can do. Definitely feels though like ZMG has control of this game. Papa Skips has seemed very comfortable in the jungle despite this being an off role for him.
Honestly, he feels a lot more in charge in this jungle position, or at least in this game.
The J4 working out very well for him. Once again, we see DOG pushing in very deep for vision. The Alistair going in there with no support available, but only the Renata was able to find him, so will not be punished for it. Papa Skips now taking the Rift Herald here, will get seen out by Stunna, will not find the steal though, as Stunna gets caught out by Aulzeren0r. The Hextech Ultimatum comes down, and Aulzeren0r on a killing spree now, 3-0-4, securing that Lilia for the third time this game.
I feel like Azir's feeling pretty well this game. To be honest, he's like, "Wow, people love my lane," and it's this time it's my team here.
Yeah, I'm not being ganked every 3 minutes. By the enemy, at least. B squared managing to clear out some vision. Instantly replaced by AD Cosmos, though, and taking a whole lot of hurt for it. But look at the power of that second Q on this Camille now that she's got the full Divine Sunderer, putting in work on Zol's health bar, down to less than half already. 4 members of ZMG are rotating here to the bot lane. Mid turret has already fallen. This turret is not long for this world. The teleport coming in. Will it be fast enough? No, it will not. The teleport is cancelled by the death of the turret, and Hoshiumi dies as well. The flash forward by Papa Skips to land the Cataclysm, but ADC Cosmos flashes out immediately. Aulzeren0r flashing forward will secure the kill. Veneris over the wall with the E, forced to run away very quickly. In the meantime, Zol getting punished in the top lane. B squared has to be careful though. This Lilia is behind. The Yone is ahead. This is going to be a collapse here in the 2v4. Lilia trying her best to cut off this wave, but it looks like we will get a Rift Herald charge onto this third turret. The question is, can ZMG leave safely with this Lilia hunting them in the background? Papa Skips
I
trying to
mean,
play spoiler here. Looks like they will do so. That inhibitor turret does fall. The inhibitor will not. And Lilia is giving up her attempt at assassination.
I mean, at this point, I really don't think they have anyone that can match the Camille split push.
No, absolutely not. Who are you going to send? The 04 Yone? You
It's
you have to send 2 people. But despite that, the Camille split push has only resulted in a single turret. The group push in the bot side, however, has resulted in an inhibitor turret going down. Now Captain Donut gets devoured as the hookshot's going out. He is in trouble now. Donut down to less than 1,000 health. The ultimate from Stunna, will it come out? No, it will not. Stunna taking that kill on Captain Donut. And a great outplay by Zol using that devour to cancel the hookshot.
I will say though, by sending 3 people up right before drag spawns, I feel like at that point you're giving up this Drake.
This will put ZMG on Infernal Soul Point at just shy of 24 minutes. So in 5 minutes, we will have to see if DOG finally responds to one of these dragons, or if they will let it go for a 4th time and give ZMG Ocean Soul here. The Sivir ultimate coming down. Will Aulzeren0r be able to catch somebody? Does hit 80 Cosmos with the end of that Death Ray. Will put the gravity field down. 80 Cosmos gets hit by the Hextech Ultimatum, and Aulzeren0r is on a rampage. Hoshiumi will fall as well to Donut. 2 kills for none in the pick there. It looks like ZMG is going to take 5 and send them all
Oh,
mid lane.
that poor Yon. No one's even there and he's still tanking the turret.
He's not having a good
3
day at this point.
he just took 3 turret shots.
Looks like 2 members of DOG will be sent to try and deal with the 5-man push here. Question is, will it be enough? Aulzeren0r does manage to zone with just the Death Ray here at the moment, and this turret is losing health rapidly. The knockup from Zol lands onto 3, but there's no damage. Papa Skips going in deep. This shield will be massive for Zol and will keep him alive for now. Papa Skips gets pulled in by his own flag. The MF ult catches out the J4, and now ZMG, look at their health bars. They're so low. Despite getting that turret, they are in trouble. Stunna trying his best to run down the team of ZMG, keep them from backing as well so that they can't stop this Yone. Captain Donut does get hit by the Swirl Seed of Stunna, but it looks like it will not be enough to track them down. ZMG gets behind the safety of their mid lane outer turret. For that push, though, DOG managed to get the bot outer and about half of the bot inner.
Though I was a little disappointed. I don't know if you saw, but the Victor had his sun field out, and then Renata had the opportunity to drag someone into it.
And did not
That's
do so.
big brain, yes. But that would have been such big brain strats right there. But with that though, Baron is now up. So I'm wondering if ZMG will attempt to try to go for an early Baron so that they can just push to the end.
It is available. However, Skip seems a bit more concerned with clearing camps at the moment. 3 members of ZMG are up there, and T-Garden is in the area, but Skips is continuing to path around his own jungle instead. Looks like ZMG is going to push into the red buff jungle of DOG here, start getting some vision down, potentially for this Baron. And now this Lily is in a spot of trouble here. Caught in between the Victor and the Camille. Will take a decent chunk of damage there, but trot away just fine. Ooh. I say just
Oh,
fine, but she's already under 1,000 health.
what was that? Was that a Victor laser?
That was a death ray from Victor, yes, and the follow-up explosion. Does a lot of damage. Zol gets pulled back into the team of ZMG, will get hit by the stun of the gravity field, down to about 700 health, and already used his gray health. So he will be forced to back away here as the entirety of ZMG, once again as 5, once again completely ignoring the Yone on the bot side of the map as they group together and take down that second tier top lane turret. Looks like they're going to go ahead and think about a Baron here. Azir will be backing to deal with the Yone, who will not be able to get this inhibitor turret quite yet. But that does mean we will see potentially a 4v4 here over Baron and a steal potentially available. Stunna does not have the flash though, so will need to try his best to get over this wall. B squared, forced to flash away from the MF ult, but will still die. DOG Veneris putting some hurt down onto Azir, but it will not be enough. Hoshiumi falls. They do get the J4 though. The J4 is down, so Stunna can take this. No, Stunna falls here. Zol will not manage it, and T-Garden secures the Baron. Will it be at the expense of his entire team? Captain Donut flashing over the wall. Does T-Garden have enough damage? No! Zol and AD Cosmos team together to take him down, and despite taking Baron, Captain Donut is the only member of ZMG left alive with it.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but Azir TP'd to help with like 20 HP, so he did not last very long once the CP finished.
No, would have been far more valuable for him to go ahead and heal up before joining that fight. And Baron's starting in 50, or not Baron, but Dragon is respawning in 15 seconds, so both teams will be sprinting for that here. Trying to get there in time for another enormous objective fight.
I do believe though, if ZMG is able to get this next Drake, they should be able to just push an end.
Well,
Assuming they don't like
all die for it like they did with Baron.
Yeah.
Dragon is started up by DOG. Papa Skips has the flag and drag available. Down to about 3,000 health. Will be taken by Stunna. And now Papa Skips is on the wrong side of this fight. Azir going in. But the Abyssal Voyage from Zol puts him on the back side of this fight. Hoshiumi down to about 200 health though cannot assist Zol. And he does not have any members of his team with him. Zol will fall here to Azir. 1 for 1 so far in this fight. The Drake was secured by DOG, but it may still spell doom. AD Cosmos, no, my friend, you walked the wrong way and found a 6-1 victor. Now 7-1. Big, scary mage man will help his team to take this mid inhibitor and potentially the bot inhibitor as well before DOG can respond. Just a reminder, Donut is the only member of ZMG with the Baron, but it is enough to help this push since he is there. Looks like they're going to take both of those inhibitors and back off for the moment.
I almost felt like Dorado is not playing as a team, especially with the Tom Kinch trying to go in there and then his team running away.
Yeah, it feels like there have been a couple of times where Zol's gone in very hard and been forced to regret it because his team does not follow up like they should. Or like he expected them to, perhaps. And this Yone at 2.5 items, er, sorry, 2 items in boots, but still feels like he hasn't had much of an impact on this game. Been left alone by ZMG to split push multiple times in multiple fights, and has only managed to get 2 turrets off of it.
Well, also like 20 CS up on Victor,
Yeah,
small victory.
20 CS up and 3,300 gold down. It's a rough time if you're DOG Veneris, and will get caught out by Papa Skips here. Looks like Skips is just going to say, no, 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 these are my rocks now. As Yone is forced off. ZMG choosing to stack his 5 for the only remaining inhibitor on the map for DOG. The entirety of DOG is here to respond, though, so we will have a full fight. Tom Kench will be a little bit late to it, though. Did not realize he was recalling on the bot side of the map. Hoshiumi pushing forward, trying to get some vision, but ZMG sitting on a control ward. Who will start this fight? Zol gets rooted over the wall by Renata, but will not have anything other than just a little bit of damage from that Q. Teagarden and Donut hit by the Swirl Seed. Will Stunna pull the trigger? Survey says no. Just going to take that little bit of poke and call it good for now. Teagarden will be able to heal some of that up, though, courtesy of these waves. And we are in for a slow one here, it seems. Zol and Skips fighting on the side. Teagarden trying to chip down this turret, but the flash in from Hoshiumi getting the knockup onto B squared. Stunna with the ult onto 2. Will it be enough? B squared is the first to fall here. Teagarden, though, putting out damage from the back. Only about a quarter health, but will be enough as long as he can keep doing damage. Hoshiumi with the headbutt in once again, but will regret it. Down to about 150 health. Will fall to Azir. Zol, though, going in will help to secure the Sivir. Papa Skips gets Veneris, and now it's Azir versus the world. Donut choosing not to go in with that hookshot. Zol is down to about 250 health. Will fall to the Death Ray Q combo from Azir. Now it's Cosmos alone. 3v1 here. Will Cosmos be able to hold this? The health bars of ZMG are so low. A single good combo from the MF could be enough. There are still 2 Nexus... No, there's 1 Nexus turret remaining, I'm sorry. One of them already fell. The 3rd inhibitor falls here. The 2nd Nexus turret will fall. Will Azir, Donut, and Skips be able to take down this Nexus before Cosmos and Stunna can kill them? Yes! ZMG claims game 1 in exciting fashion.
And with that, ZMG Legends get their first victory out of a best of 3.
And a fun victory it was. They made that game interesting a couple of times. For a game that felt like ZMG had control early and didn't ever let up on the gas, they gave DOG a couple of ways back into it.
I was getting a little worried with the Yon split push, but
I was more concerned by the Baron throw.
well, let's just say they had wiped ZMG there while Yon was just pushing bot there. Imagine if he had little Baron buff, he could probably
Oh,
just open
absolutely.
up. Oh,
Well,
not surprising. Azir did the most damage that game with 32,000.
yeah, the Victor got a little bit ahead. Let's say just a touch ahead. Well, what does DOG change heading into game 2? how do they adjust to bring back this series and potentially steal a win here off of ZMG?
I think they need to have a better early game plan, to be honest.
Are we expecting draft changes from them then?
I think they need a more gank heavy jungler early. Like Lilia, I think wants to power farm and then you know do Lilia things. But like the J4 is like there trying to do the ganks and get his lanes ahead.
Right. And did an incredible job of that. Papa Skips was effective all across the map. Well, it looks like we are going to be waiting just a bit for DOG to be ready here. Well, perhaps not.